Miguel. First of all, nice seeing you.
Thank
So
you very much.
congratulations on your set tonight and all your success.
Thank you.
Now, I want to find out if you can tell my readers your background. Like I know your background, but just let us know where you're from.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Miguel. Um, the name would probably suggest that I'm Latin, and I am. My father is from Zamora, Michoacan, Mexico. So I'm Mexican, and my mom is black. So I'm Mexican and black. I grew up here in Los Angeles, in a small town called San Pedro, right next to the projects. And I fell in love with music early on. I've been singing ever since I can remember. I started writing when my parents got divorced. I think I was 8 years old, and I've just been steadily working since then to now. I'm 24, and here we are.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds great. Now, how did you get into? You put out like independent record and all that. Now, how did that process go? You just write the songs and you just made your own tape and put it out.
The independent project that we were working on actually never came out, and I was about 19 at the time, with a company called Black Ice, who I was working with at the time, and that was kind of like a huge learning experience for me, just coming into my own, and actually, it was that experience that really helped me discover myself and decide that I wasn't going to conform to the expectations of maybe what urban music was all about at the time, and and I think the decisions I made based on those experiences have so much to do with what I represent now and who I am and being comfortable making the music that I do, and the decisions I make, whether it be music wise or aesthetically or conscientiously, just about all those things.
Oh, that's great. Now, you started your career as a songwriter, writing for you wrote on Usher, the Here I Stand album, and Raymond versus Raymond Music Soundtrack. How did your songwriting process? How did you get to be a songwriter and just start writing songs for these top artists?
Well, interestingly, my professional career actually started as being an artist. I signed to By Storm Jive as an artist
Yeah.
first, and then actually, I think my debut to the general public seemed like I was a writer first, but it was that I signed first and actually got to meet these artists and be a part of their creative process. So, but I did get to be a part of Usher's Here I Stand album, like you said, and the Raymond versus Raymond album that's out now. The creative process differs when it comes to working for myself and working for other artists, in that it's more about putting myself in their shoes,
Oh, yeah.
when it's for the other artists, and I think that's the most important part, and it's a huge um, honor for another artist to let me become a part of their space, because I have to get into their head. So I think that's a kind of a cool challenge every time.
Cool. And then how about writing for yourself? Like when you start like writing lyrics first? Did you write songs first? Did you plan it out? You just wait till something comes to you?
I think I'm inspired by the most mundane sometimes, and then sometimes the most obscure things. It can be a sound that I hear while I'm driving, or it could be a conversation, or it could be a phrase that I read, or advertisement. Some random things often inspire me. But I think the most important thing is just kind of being open to the variables of creativity,
Yeah.
and then getting to a place where you can be vulnerable. And I think that's what my music is all about. Is about being vulnerable and unapologetic. And that's kind of where it really starts, is finding a vulnerable and unapologetic place for
Yeah.
me, and just kind of riding the wave.
Cool. Now let's talk about your current album that just came out last year. Can you talk about the album? Give us a little ideas, like what would people look for if when they hear the album, what do
Right.
they expect?
The album out now is All I Want Is You.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it chronicles my romantic experience in the past 5 years. I was in, I would say, three major relationships. I was in and out of love, and that's why the title is fitting, because I think at the end of that journey, I came to the discovery that where I was in the beginning was where I needed to be, or where I was supposed to be, and all I ended up wanting was the person that I was with,
Oh.
from the start. And this album is such an eclectic rather mix of sound. A lot of guitar, classic rock, hip hop, and funk influence.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. You can tell. I mean,
Throughout.
Sure Thing. I mean, it's long.
Thank you.
I love the album. It's a great album.
Thank
it's
you.
different. And when I listen to albums, I always try to think it was like the same track over and over again. And then one thing
Right.
I noticed was that it's it sounds different. You want to play it all the way through.
Ah, it's awesome. Thank
It's hard now with CDs because people just skip and program. So it's good
Right.
if you want to actually play the album through. So.
Well, I think that the purpose was to create a body of work where no song was more important than the next. It was all about the project, and even though, like you said, no song is alike, I think the unifying thread is the concept, and me, as well as it's the theme and me and being unique to my style and delivery.
So, now let's talk about you were nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah,
Let's
apparently.
talk about it. Yeah.
I don't know.
You didn't know?
Why? Why they not?
Well,
No.
well, you were nominated for the song. Let's talk
Right.
about that. I spoke with a lot of the writers for the Jaheim song.
Right.
At the ASCAP event, they all mentioned you, and they were talking about, they basically said that, how did this whole song come about?
Right.
Did you guys specifically write it for Jaheim, or did it come up differently? You wrote it separately, and he liked it.
It came about more so like that. We started actually the song here in Los Angeles while Carvin and Ivan, who's the producer, co-wrote with me, and we started here in Los Angeles randomly, and it was a completely different chorus line. The music was different, and it just didn't work out. I don't think the song really connected at the end when we finished it. Later on, maybe 6 months later, I ended up flying out to Jersey to work with Ivan, who's the producer, and we just started on a new song, a new idea, and I just remembered the lyrics, and then we just kind of started plugging it in, and then the song the rest of the song wrote itself to a completely different bit of music, and it just so happened, luckily, that Jaheim was looking for material, and it fit his sound and what his message, and here we are, nominated for a Grammy. I found it on Twitter. which is pretty cool. But that's kind of a crazy experience. I'd never been invited to the Grammys, let alone nominated.
It was your first time you got to go to the Grammys and you were nominated. So how was it like walking the red carpet? And
it was horrible. I hated it. no, it was amazing. The red carpet experience was cool. I actually was behind Lenny Kravitz on.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like, don't take pictures of me. Take pictures of it's Lenny. But and they did. Actually, I think I took pictures of Lenny. No, but the Grammys were cool, and it's such a cool. It's kind of like the highest accolade.
Yeah.
The biggest event for creators and composers, and so just to be a part of it, to be invited was just an honor.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the show? It was a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. Great show. Not my favorite Grammy, but definitely a lot of moments that I like.
Which is your favorite Grammy?
There are a few where there's some really good moments. I think during the Grammys they were playing some awesome moments.
Oh yeah, the clips back. Yeah.
Yeah, this the flashbacks of the performances, and that's what I love most about the Grammys. Obviously,
yeah,
this performances. Prince, Beyonce, they played, which is amazing. There was a clip of who was it? It was I can't think of his name now, but it's Bruce Springsteen. They had and that all the names there escape me, but it was a bunch of players. It was amazing, really great moment. I can't remember the song they were singing. It was great, but yeah, a few.
Wow, it's a few. Now you've been on tour nonstop.
Yes,
you're touring with Mary J. Blige. You've been touring with Usher. Everything. How was this touring experience? Just getting out and
touring, I think, is the most important part of what I represent or what I want to represent. I wish I could stay on tour every day of the year. I think my band and I have such a great chemistry, and to really understand where we're coming from, musically, to see it really gives you the full spectrum as to, like you said, the classic rock, the hip hop, and the funk influences. And we're actually on tour now, on my own tours. The All I Want Is You tour. It's all hand-picked venues. Very, very intimate.
Yeah, it's great. It's the best experience.
It's just, I love being able to connect, and look people in the eyes. It's a completely different experience from the arena tour we did with Usher and Trey Songz. So I think we're just really excited to be touring now and to connect with people.
Cool. Now, are you doing any songwriting projects right now?
Definitely writing here and there. I think I do more like creative writing when I'm just, traveling. I'll just pull my phone out when there's an idea and just kind of record a bit and just kind of store it for later, because we actually have been being on tour is a challenge that I'm trying to adjust to, creating on the road, and it's been an interesting learning experience doing that. But I think it's gonna make for some great material. I think my perspective is changing a lot too.
It's changing a lot, being a thing. And then
Yeah,
what type
absolutely.
of music do you like to listen to? Like, you have any favorite songs? And it's like songs you like play all the time. Every time you hear it, you have to stop.
Oh, I definitely have like a favorites playlist, and it's all like feel good music. I think there's a Brown Eyed Girl from Van Morrison,
Yeah.
and then it goes to like, what does it go to? It goes to Jay Electronica's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There's David Bowie's Space Oddities
Yeah.
in there. I've got Bohemian Rhapsody in there. I've got The Knife, Heartbeats. Their song Heartbeats is in there. A lot of just very eclectic. I think Julian Casablancas 11th Dimension is in there. Just really, I mean, it really is a huge, you know.
It's a huge.
broad
That's like a
spectrum.
very broad. Yeah, very
right,
broad. and
right.
very
I'm kind of
understood.
just kind of, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Now, is there any artists in the future that you always like to work with, or anyone? You know, you like.
There's so many. I think there's a. I think right now, I'm I've been exploring not only on the music side, but just these possibilities of collaborating with open-minded uh, creatives and